Hey everyone, Mr. Kaczynski working through section double D, absolute value functions in IXL's Algebra 1 skills. Domain and range of absolute value functions, looking at graphs. Domain and range can be kind of confusing to people, but I think we'll get through this one pretty quick and hopefully you'll have a decent understanding. All right, so what about the domain here of this function, the domain of the function? So the domain is got to do with our possible x values that can go into the function. You can see that, well, any positive value can go into this function because that arrow keeps going forever to the right. Also, any negative value can go into this. So the answer here is all real numbers, okay? The domain of this function, and this is the most basic absolute value function, is all real numbers. You can plug any value of x in and we will get an output. All right, well, what about when we talk about the range of the function? Now we're talking about range, okay? That's a little bit different because our minimum value is 0. Okay, and first of all, we're talking about range. Range is a y values, all our possible outputs, okay? So starting at 0 and looking at all the y values that we can get, and that goes forever up, okay? Because those arrows on the absolute value function, that v shape, they go forever to the right and up and forever to the left and up, but they start at 0. So the way this reads, this is set notation. It says y such that y is greater than or equal to 1. Well, that's not true because y can be less than 1. Y such that y is less than or equal to 0? No, we don't want that. It's definitely not all real numbers. Right here is our answer. Y such that y, any value of y such that y is greater than or equal to 0. Our possible outputs are 0 and everything above 0. Okay, now we're going to look at domain and range. All right, so let's talk about domain first. Okay, again, this arrow goes forever to the left, and it goes forever to the right. That's all real numbers, okay? So that eliminates this, and it eliminates this. Our range, again, our range, we're talking about y values, not x values, okay? Again, we start at 0, that's our minimum value, and it goes up forever from there. Okay, those arrows go up and to the right and up and to the left forever. So it's all values of y greater than or equal to 0. And that would be, we don't want less than -3, okay? I see why they put that in there because they're talking about x values, but our domain is everything greater than or equal, or our range rather, is everything greater than or equal to 0. Again, looking for a domain and range. Let's talk domain first. Well, that arrow goes forever to the right and it goes forever to the left. Maybe you're noticing a pattern here with absolute value functions. So we've got all real numbers for our possible x values. So that rules that out and that rules that out, okay? So it's one of these two. So is it all values of y less than or equal to 0 for the range, or all values of y greater than or equal to 0? So it definitely, our maximum value is 0, and then it goes down from there, okay? Our possible outputs are all 0 and less, all right? So that is this one right here, all real numbers for our domain, and all values of y such that y is less than or equal to 0 for our outputs. A couple more. This one changes things up a little bit. All right, first of all, domain. Look again, it goes forever. That's our possible x values. That arrow goes forever to the right and forever to the left. That is all real numbers, okay? So that rules this one out and that rules this one out. It's either one of these two, all real numbers. Is our range all real numbers? No, our range isn't all real numbers because we never get a value below that blue line, right? So our range is everything from -8 up. Those are our possible y values. So that's our range from -8, including -8, and up. So the domain is all real numbers. The range is all values of y such that y is greater than or equal to -8. I think you're getting the hang of this. All right, and last one here, we're just going to talk about range of this function. I think we've established that the domain usually on absolute value functions, I can't think of any offhand where it wouldn't be all real numbers, but range is a little bit different. So range here, we've got -5 and less, -5 and under for our y values. So all values of y such that y is less than or equal to -5. All right, so now that you know that, and you're not confused about domain and range anymore, go get a SMART score of 100 on Skill 3 in Section Double D of IXL's Algebra 1 skills. Good luck. Let me know how it goes.